Hey everybody, welcome to this week's podcast. And in this week's podcast, I get the opportunity to interview one of my very first friends that I ever met in the multifamily business. His name is Vern Schmidt. He's got a great story. Now, Vern and I met actually through the banker that I used for my first deal. Vern was also doing multifamily deals in the same area. And the banker thought, hey, the two of you guys should get together. So Vern and I had lunch together. We've been fast friends ever since. So let me give you a little bit of background on Vern. He started off as an engineer with AMC, American Motor Cars, back when they still existed. And he received a bonus in the form of stock options. And because of the sale of American AMC to Chrysler, his stock options became worthless. But in their infinite wisdom, the federal government still taxed them at the full value. So Vern got nothing, yet he had to pay out this huge tax bill. Well, that only happened once to Vern. And what he ended up doing is he's the only guy I know that has actually read the entire IRS tax manual and knows it better than anyone I've ever met before. It's like, what they teach you in law school, when your client is up against it and you've got nowhere else to go, read the law. I get some great stories of that. Now, that's probably a time for another podcast. But Vern understands the tax and ramifications of everything. And in this particular video, what we're going to be talking about are opportunity zones, which he's got figured out beyond anyone else. And it's another just great conversation with a good friend of mine. So sit back, enjoy the podcast, and I look forward to seeing what you think. Make sure you leave a comment. Thanks. So Vern, give us give us a 30,000-foot view. Give us a little historical background on opportunity zones and what they're all about.
Part of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was establishing opportunity zones, which the governors of each state could establish what areas they wanted to improve with capital investment for the next 15, 20, 30, 40 years to encourage people to move in and redevelop, regentrify areas that were depressed. And the way they did this was through using the census tracts to determine what level of poverty was in the area, what level of median income was in the area, and determine if that was a zone that needed improvement or had opportunities for improvement.
Okay, so it wasn't like a governor could just walk in and say, hey, my whole state is an opportunity zone. They had to meet particular criteria?
That is correct.
Okay.
And if you if you just Google Opportunity Zone US, you can see all of the websites, although I'd recommend you do Opportunity Zone and then your particular state. You can see what zones on a map are your opportunity zones. And I think there are somewhere in the neighborhood of, it's either 4,800 or 48,000 opportunity zones. It's a big number. And surprise upon surprise, pretty much my whole county where I am in Florida is an opportunity zone. So I can invest right down the street here, and I could use opportunity zone funding if I so choose.
All right, so let's use that as an example. Let's use your local county because okay, wait a minute. You just kind of told us that you just bought this office condo that you're in.
Yeah.
Is this did you take advantage of some special deal because of it's in an opportunity zone?
Oh, no, I didn't know about it. I bought it a year and a half ago. So
okay.
It was just a good deal. We paid $60,000 for the condo. I put $25,000 into it because the roof leaked, the drywall had fallen down, and it just hadn't been lived in for a long time. But it's now worth probably $140,000, something like that. So,
folks, this is how the rich just keep getting richer. Okay.
But it's also my office, but I won't get into that because my S Corp actually rents it from me. So.
Okay.
But that's a tax-free reimbursement. So that's another podcast on how you use S Corps to eliminate more taxes.
Oh my gosh! All right, so let's use your county as an example. So the governor of Florida has said this little old county is so bad. That right now, as it stands, Vern Schmidt is in the top 1% of the top 1% of all income earners in our county, and this little scofflaw doesn't even pay taxes on that money, and so that's why our county is so bad that we are now declaring it an opportunity zone. So the first thing that Vern does is he says, "Okay, I'm going to make more money in this county." And so, what do you do? What do you do, Vern?
Well, the only way you can take advantage of this is if you have capital gains. So you can't just invest money, your own money into it that you've saved. You have to have had the stock that you sold, or a house that you sold, or a boat or a car, something that you generate capital gains. You can invest all those capital gains. You don't have to invest your original amount of money that you paid for the place, but just your gains. You can then buy a particular rundown home, or you can build a new one, and that will qualify as an opportunity zone property.
Okay, so if somebody, decides, because I have a lot of clients here at our insurance agency who come in and hey, we just sold a bunch of stock, in preparation for retirement, and so they end up, they have a huge gain that particular year, $50,000, and what you're saying is they can now take that gain, whatever they earn, and they can turn around in your county and buy real estate that exists there, just any type of real estate. Do they have to, like a 1031 exchange, do they have to do it in a particular entity, or can they own it in any way, shape, manner, or form?
You can only own it through a multi-member LLC.
Okay. Oh, really? Only an LLC?
It can't be a single person. It can be two people. It could be a husband and a wife, or it could be a group of partners that would invest in this.
Okay. But it has to be an LLC? Really? It can't be an S Corp or a...
Well, S Corp wouldn't give you much in the way of tax benefits, because
C Corp then, okay.
Incorporations are double taxation, so LLC pretty much sets it up the way you need it. And it's
Okay.
pretty specific about that.
Okay. But it doesn't matter what like with a 1031, it doesn't matter what form it's coming from and going into. If the person sells stock, realizes a gain, they can turn around and buy into an LLC, multiple member LLC, and they're good to go.
That is correct. It is not a like-kind exchange. It is any capital gain into real estate.
Okay. And so what is the benefit that they're realizing because of this opportunity zone?
Well, the benefit is if you hold it long enough, you don't pay any capital gains tax.